Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers, geezers, geeks, and Tiger Kings alike. Remember to stay indoors. It's this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. Always on these podcasting journeys, my faithful stalwart companion, the man who I call Captain Birdseye, is Nigel. Say hello, Nigel.
Yeah, hello, everyone.
And Jabba the Hutt's favourite cousin, because not everyone's heard that jab from me. It's Keith. Say hello, Keith.
Hello. Hello.
How are we doing?
Well, you know, what day is it? Because I've kind of lost track. It's just day now. It's not like Monday, Tuesday. It's just day. It's another day. Nothing changes.
Day 15.
Yes, day 15, yeah. as we all remain indoors. Okay, coming up with news stories this week. Little bloody difficult because everything has stopped apart from the gaming world, apparently. But we've got a few things that we hope will interest you. So, the first one I've got is Spiderman, and we have Spiderman, and in Spiderman they're talking about 6 villains that could face off against Tom Holland in the next MCU film. Jonah Jameson doesn't count. All right, Jonah Jameson is Jonah Jameson. So
he's a protagonist rather than a villain.
He is. He's
a villain.
So they've got some villains here, and we got Kraven the Hunter, old Sergey, what was his name? Sergey something off, who's not one of Spider-Man's favorite villains. Even though as a kid, when I had the comics, I did have one where he looked like he killed Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man turned around and kicked the shit out of him. But that was the British. I think that's the British version of Marvel rather than the American one, which is interesting. So they could have Kraven Hunter. I have no idea who'd play him. It'd be interesting to find out who would. And then you've got J. Jonah Jameson, who's our Alex Jones stand-in, because everyone loves Alex Jones, which is pretty fucking awesome. So I don't know how he is. Maybe he's going to be just fucking things up genuinely behind the scenes, setting the police on him, people leaking footage and then him sharing it out on the internet, that sort of shit, maybe. Which should be interesting. And then you got the Scorpion, Matt Gargan, who's being played by that great actor who was in Far Cry and who is in Better Call Saul. And I cannot remember his name. He's got quite a sensible name for someone who works in Hollywood. And you've got the Scorpion, Matt Gargan, which would be quite interesting. So you'd have to get your Scorpion suit. So God knows how they're going to do that as a as a backstory. And then we've got the Spider Slayers, those robotic kind of beastie things that Spencer and Alastair Smythe sent out after Spider-Man. What would be good is if they had the Kingpin in there setting the whole thing up, which would be absolutely fantastic. The Kingpin is setting all these kind of people after him. And then you've got the Doppelganger, who looks like the Outriders from Infinity War. When you look at him and you look at the Outriders in Infinity War, they do look similar. So maybe a rogue Outrider, one with a bit more, how can I put it, a bit more brain power than the others. And then we've got old Chameleon, the old son of the Red Skull, and that could be interesting. Chameleon could cause some serious fucking havoc. I thought he was going to be in the next film because it would have worked really well, because he could have been pretending to be Nick Fury rather than Ben Mendelsohn. I can't remember the person's name, but Ben Mendelsohn as one of those what are they, Skrull. So this is kind of scratching the bottom of the barrel here for movie news. I'd like to think this stuff would happen, but my money says we're only going to get one villain and a little surprise for someone else. So we're definitely going to get J. Jonah Jameson.
I heard rumours that the Kingpin's going to be in it. Sorry, not.
Is he? From Daredevil, Kingpin.
But yes, hopefully Vincent D'Onofrio would be fantastic, because Kingpin's a great adversary, because he plays like chess with Spider-Man until they meet in person, and then they try and hammer 12 tons of shit out of each other. There's also the Vulture, who hasn't come through, hasn't been has been seen but hasn't been announced to come back, along with Rhino, which would be good, and Shocker, which we had 2 of them in the previous film, the budget Tom Hardy fella and the scary looking black fella who got his ass handed in the car park.
If it's the Vulture in Morbius and the fact that his identity has been revealed, and you had that little sort of scene at the end of Homecoming with Scorpion, I would say the money is on it being the Scorpion. Because it kind of makes sense, because you had that little sort of skit at the end of Homecoming, and the Vulture could team up. Sony's always wanted to do the Sinister Six. Sony Spider-Man movies with multiple baddies has never worked. It's always been bad. One baddie is okay. I have a feeling we might get a couple of cameos in here. I would quite like to see Kingpin turn up. I think that would be quite cool.
I would love
talk of it.
I would love it if they did. Kingpin is like the source of all the trouble going on, and he has to like get to him, and take him out. That would be fantastic. And then if Daredevil turns up and fucking helps out in the last scene, I'd be like, fucking love this.
Well, the rumor is that the guy that played it's Matt Murdock that's going to be in it as a lawyer helping out Peter Parker. That's one rumor that's doing the rounds, because he's now, obviously his secret identity has been revealed and he needs lawyers, and the lawyer that's going to help him is Matt Murdock.
I had a thought, actually. If they're going to say that J. Jonah is going to be the villain, maybe he's working alongside the villain to bring him down.
No, you can't do that, because you'll totally destroy. Jameson was a protagonist. He was kind of a bit like the Alex Jones character, even in the original comics. I really hope they have him in this a lot, because I love J.K. Simmons, and he absolutely nailed Joe James. How do you say
J. Jonah Jameson?
Jameson, in the sort of what's his face Spider-Man movies,
and
I'm really glad they brought him back. But as he's playing more of an Alex Jones style character, he's got to say the frogs are gay. He has got to say it. They won't put it in there, but I'd love it if he did.
Do you know what the worst thing is about that comment that Alex Jones makes about turning the frogs gay? He was right, but what he said was wrong. He was turning the frogs transgender.
Well,
he was absolutely right, but because he's so unfiltered as an individual, it doesn't quite come off the way we expect. So, okay,
I have a burning question.
Go for it,
because I don't know. What does a J stand for in J. Jonah Jameson?
I think it stands for J, as in Jay. Lost my mouse.
So why does he use his middle name and not his first name?
I think it's actually Joseph. I think it's Joseph. Again, Joe doesn't sound right. It doesn't. Jonah sounds more. What do you call it? Sounds more regular. No, more not moody. Official. It's like there's a guy called J. Michael Skroninsky, and he didn't want to call himself Joe Michael Skroninsky because it doesn't sound right. So he calls himself J. Michael Skroninsky. Okay.
Or JMS.
All right. Or JMS, which is just a lot easier, like RTD.
And he wrote a hell of a lot of Spider-Man. A lot.
Yes, he did.
Spider-Man.
He did write a lot of Spider-Man, and then he fucked up.
6 volumes of it, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
It depends on who you talk to, whether he did or not.
It was the one more day thing. Okay. All right. So, for those watching live,
yes, hello.
We'd love for those watching live. Hello. We'd like lots of participation, lots of comments and stuff in the chat. And at the end of each segment, Nigel will go through your comments and we'll see how we go. So, Nigel, what were your comments saying?
We've got a few people watching. So, hello from Duncan. Hello, Duncan. Hello, what geez? We got Jason. Hello, Jace. By the way, Duncan says it's sunny day, not Sunday. It's sunny day. Jason's not stopped. And then the one, the only, Mr. David Pratt.
Hello.
Sir. We got some bloke called Malcolm, and he's not right. He's straight in with what's with the hat. Have you not done your hair? So
he's having another bad hair day.
I kindly have sold him that. Yes,
so before this
hair is in a mess again.
Before the instant that shall not be named, I was supposed to get my hair cut. I didn't, and my hair now is constantly a mess. So yeah, I am wearing a hat to cover up my crappy hair.
To be you, I had a haircut half an hour ago. I got some clippers that I do myself.
I'm actually tempted to shave the whole thing off until this is over.
I gotta respond to this comment here from your brother.
So this one.
Hang on.
Go on.
So Duncan said Scorpion and Vulture.
Yeah,
that's who I suspect it will be. I suspect that Vulture will turn back up again. I suspect the Vulture will actually save him. But it's Vulture in Morbius, blatantly.
Yes, Vulture. That's definitely in Morbius. I think that it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Scorpion, Shocker, and someone else.
But we've had Shocker, haven't we?
Yeah, but doesn't mean you can't have him back.
That was in the other one, wasn't it? The other.
Yeah. Didn't they kill the first Shocker and then we got another one? But
yeah, the first Shocker was the budget Tom Hardy, because Duncan's put it down there with the budget Tom Hardy's dead because he got killed via whatever it was.
I don't think they will ever put Doc Ock back in there because I just don't think you can beat Alfred Molina's performance. So you will never top that.
The one in the Spider-Man game was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, but I think Alfred Molina was just he made you sympathise with him as well,
and you did with the other one too. You sympathised with him too. I think it can be done.
I just don't think they will. I don't know if they will though, because Spider-Man 2 is arguably untouchable.
Okay, all right. So,
hang
on a second. Before you jump to that, we've got Malcolm says it's Jonah Jameson. Fair enough.
Yeah,
good on the Google there, Malc.
He could have just called himself JJ Jameson, but hey, whatever, man. Stanley.
And then we've
does
got
what he wants.
Yeah, and then we've got. He thinks Chameleon Doc Ock. Sorry, the one that you were on. I made you jump. The one that you were on, where he says the Chameleon, Doc Ock, Scorpion, Kraven. So he thinks Sinister 6, basically.
Yes, Duncan. In Gareth's case, every day is a bad day.
At the moment, until I can get to my barbers. Okay.
And so
right. Malcolm says Clippers. Then no, because that will reveal. Fire break right here.
Oh, shut up.
There comes a point in your life where you've just got to go, do you know what? I'll buy my own clippers and I'll just trim it straight off.
It's just
I passed that point years ago.
Anyway, let's continue. All right, because now we've got to get into the incident that we can't name because we get censored on freaking YouTube, and it also says we get censored on Facebook, thank you, StreamYard, about a list of films that have been delayed. So we've got a list of films here, and I picked a few out that might do it. So we've got Fast and the Furious 9. It was supposed to be coming out in May this year, and it's now been delayed to April 2021. Vin Diesel drives around in cars pretending to be a superhero. He's photoshopped his fucking arms there. He fucking has. I've seen pictures of Vin Diesel. His arms aren't that big. And then we've got No Time to Die, which has been put back to November. We've got No Time to Die. Well, it's delaying the death of James Bond, and maybe, just maybe, he might get rescued if we hang on long enough. So yeah, we've got that. No Time to Die. We've got Mulan, which everyone says is going to be terrible, and that's supposed to come out this March, but it's been pushed back to July.
Looking at one as it's a Disney, do you think it'll go straight to Disney Plus?
Given the way that people have been reacting, I think it might.
I don't know on this one because there's another one that's rumored, or practically confirmed, but that was already delayed from last year. We'll talk about that one in a minute. I think if they can delay it, they will. I don't think these movies will make as much money as if they are in the cinema as on, going straight to something like Disney Plus, unless they intend to put like a, buy this movie and do the 48-hour thing and pay $20. But even then, you're still losing out because you take the kids and you to go to the cinema. That's more than $20. That's more than $20.
Yeah, I know, but they don't get that $20, do they?
No,
but they get all of the $20 the other way.
I see.
There were a couple of films that were released recently. They were released recently, and they were saying you can rent this for sort of rent it, play it once, and it will cost you $16 to $20 to play it in your house. There was a couple of films, I can't remember what they're called, but everyone's sitting there going, "Why are you charging us $20 to watch it when I can go to the cinema? I can watch it in the cinema for cheaper."
You can't. If it's one person,
they were giving examples of their local cinema being half the price.
Yeah, but it is if you're a loner and you're going to see it and no one else is in your house. But based upon the fact that you're tending, most of these films that have been released are family films, you're going to be watching it with families. So those people are not.
It was The Invisible Man. I remember now. It was The Invisible Man. So it's not a family film.
Yeah, but okay. If you are somebody living on your own, fine. If you're married like us, all of us, you're going to probably watch it with your wife. Therefore, it's cheaper.
And at the same time, you get your mates around and eat pizza in your pants.
You can't get your mates round.
Oh, I'm just saying, if it wasn't the incident hadn't occurred, then
if the incident hadn't occurred, we'd just be going to cinema to watch it anyway. And so this is
what I'm saying. I hope it's not a trend because I do like going to the cinema. It's more of an experience here than it is in the UK for the most part, unless you happen to be Gareth and live next to a very, very nice cinema. And I would say that's probably on par with our ones here. So the one thing the Thais do really well is cinemas.
Okay. All right, let's get back to that. I just wanted to talk about delayed films.
Okay.
These films get delayed. So we've got The Quiet Place. That was delayed. Yeah, that Quiet Place was set for, I don't know when it was set for because it didn't put a bloody date on it, but it's been pushed back to September 20th. So I'm assuming August or anything. And then there's The New Mutants. Yeah, The New Mutants was filmed like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I know it's between 3 years ago because this guy's old now. And so is she.
It was delayed because of the Fox merger, and then Disney didn't know what they were going to do.
It was delayed before then. Yeah, and then delayed again because of the Fox merger. So it's been delayed for like 2 years.
Yeah, this film isn't. This film is just not going to get into the cinema. I suspect they won't. Have they pushed this one back, or are they going to do a Disney Plus or whatever on this one?
I don't. Well, I can't do it. It's not really Disney Plus material now, is it?
No,
I don't think,
right.
It's not an Onwards, is it? It's not like.
Do you get movies on Hulu or whatever it's called?
Hulu,
yes, because Disney owns
never say Hulu, right?
Much. I don't care. It's not designed for dyslexic people.
It's 4 letters.
Yes, but it's weird.
Okay. All right. Anyway, New Mutants.
Why can't they call it something normal like Peacock? Sorry, I couldn't pull that one off. Yeah.
Anyway, the long and the short of it, that's been delayed, and I think it has been delayed for like 2 years. That's in like the X-Men Phoenix saga thing for delays in regards to that because it's a superhero horror film, and Disney are kind of a bit fucking puritanical. I will say I like Disney, but they can be utter dicks with certain things. Black Widow. It's getting pushed back till November the 6th. The only Marvel movie I think I'm interested in Full
True.
stop. Because then everything else looks like shit. I'm sorry.
I'd be
and-
interested.
I
in
mean,
Shang-Chi.
yeah, I'm interested in
no,
that, but I
not
think
with-
it's going to be
no.
woke.
No, not with
I
he's
think
gay and all that stuff. If they announce that he's gay before they tell me what his fucking superpowers are, there's something wrong. Yeah, if you turn around and say, oh, his superpowers is that he can redivert energy. So if you shoot any kind of energy at him, he can then turn it back on you. They go, oh, that kind of sounds a bit martial arty, but with like powers. So if you fought Captain Marvel, anything that she threw at him, he could then throw back at her. That would be interesting. But the first thing they told me was he's gay. That's not a character.
I don't think that they should even bring that sort of thing into it in the slightest.
Well, the long and
Yeah,
short of
but
it
they
is when it gets to China, it'll get cut. So what's the point of putting it in now?
Yeah, to be honest, if you're looking at Shang-Chi, that's going to have Asian sort of roots or storytelling, isn't it?
It's the
As far as
Mandarin's
I'm
supposed
aware.
to be in it too.
Yes,
I think the Mandarin's supposed to be his dad.
the 10 rings and everything. They're meant to be bringing that back into it. That's why I was slightly interested in it. But then you started hearing woke rumors around it, and I was kind of like, yeah. I am, although it hasn't been officially confirmed when it's coming out. I am looking forward to Guardians 3 because I like the Guardians movies. I'm looking forward to that. And
Have they said if that's moving back, or is it? I don't know when that was.
well, no,
due
it
to
hasn't had a
be.
release. I think it's going to be Phase 5 movie because he was
that's
still
right.
working on what's his face 2, whatever, Suicide Squad 2, because he went off to do that, and then he's come back. So they haven't started shooting that yet. There is still the rumored what's his face 4, Fantastic Four movie. That sounds interesting. I'm partially interested in 4 because I quite like Thor Ragnarok. I don't like
No. It's got Tessa fucking Thompson in it and female 4 in it, and Taika Waititi's turned into a knob end. So no, you can like it.
I have to say,
but I don't.
I'm more gutted about the next 4 movies, including the one you're showing on the screen, because I love Minions.
So the next one is Minions: Rise of Gru, which was supposed to be coming out in July 2021, but now it's been pushed back to December 2021. But it's like a kids' movie for the summer, so I don't know. I'm a bit worried because if they push the movies into the Christmas period, people are going to go presents for the children or going to the cinema, and they're going to go presents for the children. And there's a chance, these things won't happen.
I mean, you've had the big summer winter blockbusters. Lord of the Rings were all released at Christmas, and they did mega.
Yeah, but no. It's not having one film; it's having multiple films because they'll only wind up picking the one film to watch.
Yeah, you won't go to all of them unless you got one of those multi-pass cards or whatever. Yeah.
The next one we got is Wonder Woman, which was supposed to be in July. It's been pushed back to August, which is not that bad actually. 14th of August, which
if I would pencil that in at the moment. You might need an eraser.
I think the other thing too is I think that what I've been told is this film is not very good. But I'll be honest with you, the one that I was actually really looking forward to, because every time I see the footage from it, it just makes me go, "Wow, fuck me, that looks good." Is Topgun, because I was watching like behind the scenes and the camera setups they've put in IMAX cameras inside a cockpit, which looks fantastic, and it's got like it shoots front, forward, left, right, and all that stuff, and you're like, this looks amazing. And the fact that they got the actors to be in the planes, and you can see them trying not to barf as they're doing turns.
You'll have to go up to the BFI to watch this. I think if you've never seen a film at the BFI, it's worth it, because like they say they've got IMAX screens in Odeons. Those are not IMAX screens. They might be big, but they are nothing compared to that one in London. That thing is fucking huge.
Given the situation, traveling out to London and being exposed to
no, I mean when this comes out. Well, I'm hoping
even when this comes out, people are going to be very standoffish and sitting in a room might be a thing. But it does. To the stuff that they were showing, I watched a pilot react to this, and he was sitting there going, like, he was watching the footage and going, "That's CGI, that's real." And there's some bits in there. There's a bit where he flies between two planes and they roll open like that. And he goes, "There's no, they have rules. They have the 500. I think the US Navy have a 500-foot rule. They have their like bubble, which you're not allowed to invade the 500-foot bubble." And he goes, "Keep breaking all those rules," and they wouldn't let him do that, even with formation flying. And some of it was just a bit too dangerous. So he's going, "That's CGI," and that. So he's pulling all the stuff out. I can't wait to see behind the scenes in that. If there was no story, and they were just showing me plain footage like they've got with a really good soundtrack over the top of it. If it's Kenny Logan's Danger Zone or whatever it is, just playing with like an hour's worth of footage, even if it's on loop, I would be happy with that film. That's because it just looks that I like that shit. I blame my father for getting me into aircraft at what do you call it, at a young age. This is one we've talked about, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I spoke to Gav about this, and he's upset that he was planning on seeing this in July and it getting pushed to March. There's a lot of stuff being pushed to March, and I think we're gonna get a few more problems with the whole pushing this bloody thing to March too. So yeah, that's gonna be entertaining. And then we've got Morbius after that, and I was actually kind of looking at this and getting a bit excited and going, "Hey, this might be good."
Still don't like Jared Leto, but yes, the trailer did look good.
It does look good. Yeah, Jared Leto is a massive knob end.
Yes,
and it's not. The thing is, he doesn't come across as a knob end. Like, see, Joaquin Phoenix is a knob end, but he's a talented knob end.
They took the story of Tomb Raider and just made a film from it, and it was quite a decent film. And the fans had played the game, and why not just do it with Uncharted? The first one, the game that came out originally, I know it's been redone for the PlayStation 4, but seriously, just follow that plot, work that plot through in a movie format, and crack on. And it's just, the story from Naughty Dog are usually second to none.
They do good stories. So I would understand some fine tuning and some repacing, and maybe cutting out some of the fluff. That makes perfect sense. But they are pretty good fucking stories. But then again, I don't know. I love that little short thing that the guy who plays Mal. What was it? What? Nathan Fillion. It was Nathan Fillion where he did his version of that. I watched that about 3 times, and it was funny because it did all the action sequences in the bit at the beginning, which was very Uncharted. But when he got to the bit where he's sitting on the top of the Jeep and he's going through the stuff, and it's like kind of, this is the thing where Bossy's ship's hidden. That was the bit where I went, that's fucking Uncharted. He's now.
Don't forget, right? There's the bit where he comes out of the window from the he comes out of the window, and the camera angle sort of switches to being behind the player.
I know,
like and then came on.
Yeah, but there was bits where they were trying to inform you that this is Uncharted, but there was bits where that bit happened and they're talking about it. I got like ooh, this is Uncharted. This music starts. This is cool. Yeah. Anyway,
why not? It's action enough, and there's enough storyline in there to keep you going.
Yeah. The other thing is that you've got the Artemis Fowl film that looks like it's going to Disney Plus, but we've got no dates on it, so it's really annoying because
Josh
like
Gad tweeted it. Josh Gad tweeted that it's coming to Disney Plus, and that's a big budget movie. It's got Judi Dench, loads of people in it. There was another one on that list as you were scrolling down that I'm a bit gutted about, and that's Tom Hanks' latest movie, because he's doing another war movie where he's playing a sea captain on his first voyage across the Atlantic in the Second World War, and he's been hunted by U-boats. The trailer looked quite cool.
Okay.
And Tom Hanks in a war movie is usually good.
Yeah. Saving Private Ryan.
There's a sea captain. Yeah. Anyway,
it worked. He looks good. The trailer looked good. The trailer genuinely looked quite good. And I have to say, I watched Midway recently, and that was surprisingly good.
That was the what's his mush? The guy who did Independence Day.
Yes.
I can't remember his name now.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Yeah,
and that was surprisingly good. I quite enjoyed Midway. I watched that recently.
Okay.
There's one on here which I know you've got some honourable mentions, like you mentioned Artemis Fowl before Keith, but that's planned. It was planned for May, but no word on a release. Jungle Cruise, the Dwayne Johnson, Emily Blunt.
Yeah,
That's bumped to 2021 July 30th. Indiana Jones bumped to July 29th.
no, Indiana Jones ain't gonna happen.
That's probably why.
Indiana Jones ain't gonna happen.
Now, Ryan Reynolds in Free Guy does look interesting. Bumped to December the 11th. So I'm interested to see what that's all about. So I just love that screenshot of him just standing there with his coffee, smile on his face, and shit going on in the background. Brilliant. Love it.
What about when was Telnet meant to be coming out?
Oh God, that was August.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that ain't happening.
yeah.
And Michael Caine this week said, Michael Caine, because of course Michael Caine is in it, because Michael Caine is in every single one of these fucking films, said he doesn't know what it's about. They only gave him his lines. He has no idea what it's about. Although he is Michael Caine, he is quite old.
Fucking around with time. They sound like they're dealing with some kind of paradox that might end everything. All right, Nige, do you want to jump on the old comments?
Yeah. Just before we get I saw an interview on with Tom Holland. He was chatting to some people. Actually, they were part of his Spider-Man movie. You know, the his chubby friend and the girl who clings on to him a lot.
Was it Chef by any chance? Or no,
I don't know their names. Mate,
no way. No, the way you saw the interview, but now I know what you're talking about because I saw that interview.
There was I can't remember what interview. There was sort of all three of them. There was no interviewer on screen, and he was he was saying how he had an interesting tidbit that he was due to have a cameo in the film where they had all the multiverse in. He was due to have a cameo in that, but then they pulled it at the last minute, and he was utterly gutted.
Because Marvel said no, but the rumor is that he is going to be in the second one, which is the one they haven't yet kind of announced, but have announced.
Yeah, he was quite.
Which I am actually.
He was quite gutted by that, but right.
But the rumor is he is in Morbius as a cameo. That is rumored. Although the picture they show is the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man and not the.
Yes, they had to do it at the last minute for that.
Oops.
That was the reason behind it. They literally went, we have to go through the fucking lawyers and this, that, and the other to get the picture authorized. Fuck it, let's just use our one. So they used their one for speed.
So if we go through some of these, Duncan has mentioned a couple of films, which we have mentioned. Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
He was talking about.
Yeah, I got about that.
He
you can't go wrong with it.
Skank-Chi.
Skank-Chi. No, he meant Shang-Chi. Jurassic Park. Domination. It's Dominion.
I want to see Skank-Chi. Skank-Chi's going to be the porn version of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the porn version of it. I can hear slap bass playing. It's going to be amazing.
Wow, wow. With the moustache, like 80s. As Alex walks in the room, oh, governor. Right. Yeah. So
Domination. That's where we were.
Jurassic Park Domination. It's Dominion.
Dominion.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is Dominion.
Dominion, not Domination.
Yeah, it's Dominion because we were taking the piss out of it.
That's
yeah. Fake news, man. Fake news.
Yeah, Alex is right. It is fake news. It's Dominion. Duncan, I'm afraid.
Duncan's chatting about Kenny Loggins. Do you guys know who this person is?
That's the guy who did the Danger Zone for Top Gun.
Oh, is it?
I couldn't remember his name. Kenny Loggins. That was his name. I love that tune.
I need to respond to this next one. Yes, look.
Yeah, he does.
Look, his and her t-shirts. Which one's the girl?
My beard is more manly, and I have less hair, so clearly I'm the man.
Well, I don't know I don't know. If Gaff was actually to buy a pair of clippers, he'd give you a run for your money, Nigel.
Okay.
He's got an odd-shaped head. What can I say?
Yes, I do have an odd-shaped head.
Yeah. But hey, no, I just thought I'd wear it because he was. So
That's
Nikki
my
Horror,
vote.
hello.
Hello.
So they're watching our show. Hello, Ollie and Nikki. Yeah, so they're not with Keith in Thailand. Where they should be, Keith. Where they should
Ollie's
be.
her son. Cute little thing. She's got 3 kids. Stuck in 3.
Oh, okay.
2's enough for me. They drive me nuts.
Okay,
I'm
all
stuck
right,
indoors with one wife and 1 dog, and that's enough.
all right. So let's move on to our next story, and this is a good one.
Wait for this.
I am absolutely thrilled, and I can't wait for this. And it comes out Thursday, 9th of April, 9 p.m. on Dave.
And it actually looks like they've got money.
A little bit of money.
Quite good.
They've got more of a tenner.
Yes, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it. They catch up with the cat arcs that left the Red Dwarf originally, and it looks like there's like a civil war going on, and you have to remember that Lister was the cat god Cloyster the Stupid, if I remember correctly. Cloyster the Stupid. Holly's back. Norman Lovett's back, which is a great thing too. So we've got Norman Lovett
turned
back.
up at the end of series 12, didn't he?
I don't think he did.
No, there was. There was an alternate episode, an alternate one where Holly does turn up. Where, if Dave Lister didn't do something or something. Yeah, Holly is at the end of season 12 because I watched it recently and was surprised that he made a cameo in it.
Okay. Anyway, he's back for this series, and I like Norman Lovett as Holly. I do like Holly Hatridge. Holly Hatridge is Holly too, but the Norman Lovett was funnier. He had better lines to do, and then it's weird because it kind of replaced Holly with Crichton to do all the exposition and all that stuff. So, oh my God, Red Dwarf. I watched the first. I think it was in the first couple of days of being stuck inside. I watched Quarantine by Red Dwarf, and I'm sure I mentioned it previously. And that's just it was so well done. And the last couple of series that they've done on Dave, I think the last 2 series they've done on Dave have been actually good. And I'm looking forward to this. You're right. They look like they've got money. They come across the cats. It's what do you call it? It's against the law to be cool, if I remember correctly from the kind of thing. It's going to be sweet.
This one.
I watched the episode where
let Nigel go.
Keith. No, this one.
It's delayed.
Come on, Nigel.
This one looks like it's revolving around Lister, and some people think he's some sort of god.
He is. He's a god to the cat people.
And he comes out as with a fantastic line. How do I act like a god? I can barely act like a human.
I'm nobody. Yes, these guys could.
I am nobody, and they all go. He's absolutely nobody. Yeah, brilliant. That sets it up. It does. It does look like it could be good. I'm definitely going to try and watch this with the kids.
I saw the episode from I think it's season 12 where his father, who is also him, bollocks him and throws his guitar out the airlock. So he gets paralytically drunk. So he doesn't remember making the video to himself because he's his own dad. And he keeps bollocking him for not, being a better human being. That episode is brilliant. It's so funny and it's so Red Dwarf. And it was like, and Lister just ignores these videos because he can't remember making the videos. And so sort of, the Lister that makes the videos, which is the same Lister, so it's kind of hard to describe, throws his own guitar out the airlock. And his reaction when he watches the video after getting paralytically drunk that his guitar has been thrown out. It's brilliant. And then they discover it a couple of episodes afterwards as well. I think the last few seasons on Dave have been really good. I like the Jesus episode as well. That's bloody hilarious. The one where they go back in time and then have to travel to Jerusalem to get some lemons to power the unit to get them back into the future, and then realize that they need something else, which is back in England. So then they have to walk back again, but they meet Jesus, but it's the wrong. It's not Jesus. It turns out there's lots of people called Jesus, and they just think it's the Jesus. It's funny. It's very Red Dwarf.
Is it Jesus or Jesus?
It's if you haven't seen anything on Dave, it's well worth watching.
He's not the
Messiah.
He's a very naughty boy.
Okay, all right. It's not quite the Red Dwarf film, Duncan.
It's just an extended episode.
It's just an extended episode.
Yeah,
we were promised a Red Dwarf film back in 2003, if I remember correctly.
But didn't they say this is based upon that script?
No, because I remember what that script is. Because in that script, that they managed to make it home. They do find the cat people, but they also find a race of I can't remember what they're like half human cyborg things that have been exterminating the human race worse than simulants. But it's not that story.
Okay.
So it looks like that it's a follow up to the cat people. Okay, let's move on to some video game news bits. So we've got the Xbox X Series controller will still have double bloody A batteries. I know why Microsoft do this, and it's not what they say, because they're like kind of, it's to provide the player with flexibility so they can buy rechargeable battery packs. Right, that's bollocks. You're doing it because you save £1 on each controller for the battery cost of the batteries. You tight bastards. Okay, that's the only reason you're doing it.
We've been bitching and moaning about this since we were what your t-shirts say. I mean, that's got 5 years. I'm sorry, I can sum this up in 2 words: dumb fucks. I cannot believe that they're doing it again. I can't believe they do it. Dumb fudges. Then don't swear, children. It's bad.
Oh, we just lost all our viewers there, Keith.
For fuck's sake. I'm sorry, but this pisses me off. How many times have we bitched? This is one of my triggers. Just put a rechargeable battery in it. It's not that they save £1. It's so that they can then charge you another 50 quid on top of the cost of the controller to give you the rechargeable pack.
Yeah, they do that.
Microsoft.
They get to sell you shit twice, which they love doing. Which is going to be. It's
always what pissed me off about buying an Xbox, because you go and buy, especially when the PS4 and the Xbox One came out. You got those packages that came down. Xbox was this price and PS4 was this price. You went into the shop and you got everything you needed to play games on for that price. But the Xbox, no, because you then needed to buy a rechargeable pack because you don't get any fucking batteries with the controller, so you'd have to buy the batteries. Then you didn't get a bloody headset. No, you had to buy that extra. You had to buy this extra, that extra, and everything bloody extra with it. And it's just a scam. Just put a rechargeable battery with it, give it a headset, and charge the same goddamn price as Sony, and stop screwing your customers over, you bastards. Sorry.
Okay.
Pees me off.
Have you finished?
Are you all right, Ken?
Well, it peed me off. When I went to get an Xbox One, and it ended up being like 70 quid more once you actually added on all the extras you actually needed to actually play games on it.
They've been doing that for many years before the...
Sony don't do that.
Yeah, so I think it's the way the Americans view things, and Nigel would have noticed this when we went to have meals and shit when we went out in Florida. Because you get the price and then they force you to pay a tip on top of it. So instead of just working the tip into the price of the fucking food, so you just pay for what you see, you're gonna have to put a fucking tip on top of it. And it's I'd rather pay a bit more and not have to deal with the fucking tip, so I know what the price is at the end of it.
It's the same as you going shopping when you're in America. Because we went
fucking
shopping.
Sales tax.
Everything is shown before tax. So when you get to the end and you're going, yeah, right, I've got it up in my head how much we're going to spend $60 on food here. And then they go, plus tax. And why didn't you show the figures plus tax as you're going round? And then just, instead of just adding it at the end. Ridiculous. It's not like the UK. UK is all costs are including tax. So we know what we're paying.
Yeah.
Simple.
And it's different taxes depending on what state you're in, and depending on what bloody county you are within that state. Yeah, but I remember going to New York and I went into a bar, but they had like draft beer, and I got a pint, and the guy just held his hand out, and I went, what? He goes, I want a tip for pulling a pint. Fuck off! I actually said that for pulling a pint. Fuck off.
Yeah.
You want me to tip you for doing the job that you're paid to do?
No, I then went further with this because I was outraged. I went, give me the fucking glass and I'll pull it. I could pull it. The head on the pint as well was like that. I mean, he couldn't put a pint to save his fucking life. And I said, give me the glass. I could do a better job.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's move on to bad consumer services that we've had in foreign countries.
Oh, no, you forgot. Oh, yeah. Go. I was going to say something, but Keith, interrupted again. Around this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, Keith. So I mentioned that they did this way before. So it's one of the reasons why I got rid of my Xbox 360 and traded it in for a PS3 because I didn't have an Ethernet cable. I was using Wi-Fi. But the 360 didn't come with a Wi-Fi adapter. You had to spend £70 for a Wi-Fi adapter. If I traded in my 360 and bought a brand new PS3, which comes with Wi-Fi included, I only needed to spend £70 to buy this brand new. So I did that, and not only did I trade it in and get a machine that I could just connect to the internet, I also was able to watch videos because it had the correct codecs on it, whereas the Xbox 360 did not. So it was extra. And I just went, not having that. And I haven't gone back to Microsoft since because of that practice. And I'm concerned now that they're sort of sticking with that same practice, because I was considering this Series X. And I know you can get little controller packs, battery packs that you can just then stick on a little box, replace the battery back and so. Yeah, but that's beside the point. Expensive. It should be included. It should be included within the price, but it's not.
If you're talking about adding on things, they've got their memory modules that they've got for their .2 MMVE or what the fuck.
NVMe.
Those really fast hard drives that aren't mechanical and aren't quite solid states. Those ones,
the quick ones.
Sims. Those ones, they're going to be charging. They'll be selling terabyte ones of them, and they'll probably be charging £100 for those modules. So where the PlayStation will allow you to put whatever they've got into the thing yourself, so you can buy it yourself from another retailer, so you can just get it straight and then pop it in your console. They're not going to be doing that. So yeah, go figure. When that comes.
I was about to make that as a joke. I was going to say they're going to sell the memory modules as extra. So if you buy the baseline for console, you won't be able to save any of your games. And I can actually now seriously see them doing that.
Yes.
Just put everything in the console that you need to play. You're selling a console to play games on. Put everything in the fucking box, Microsoft.
Right. I think that
one price.
I think by competing with Sony, they did learn that, because if you get the Xbox One, everything was pretty much built into it, apart from software for playing Blu-rays.
Well,
I found really annoying.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, they changed the controller to midway through the Xbox One, and the latter controllers were really good. Because was it you that compared it to the original Xbox One controller? Just was a Fisher Price toy, just even cheaper.
Oh, that giant fucking Duke thing, yes.
Yeah, I mean, the new controllers for the Xbox One are much better, but they still have battery packs on them.
And on that note,
it does.
All right, it triggers you, but so it's not doing too well. Okay, so Malcolm has suggested something, Nige.
Has he?
Yes, he has suggested something that I think that
a swear jar.
A swear jar. Yeah, I've got
look, if you let your kids watch this, seriously, kids should not be watching this. Whose kids are watching this? Other than Nicky's and Orly.
Nicky was sitting here with and Duncan and his daughter are watching it.
Should be
So there you
ashamed.
go.
I swear like a trooper. Have you never listened to this podcast? Every other word is fuck.
Okay.
Right. So, what was this one?
Okay. So the next one we've got Microsoft Series X graphics source code stolen and leaked online. And it's ironic because I believe it was leaked via I can't remember the thing. I use it, GitHub, which is owned by Microsoft. Go figure. So the architecture and all the bits were put onto Microsoft's own GitHub in regards to the GPU. Now, this is not great. I've got a feeling that they can't sell it. I've got a feeling it's pretty much. I think they tried to, but it didn't work out. So they released it free of charge. I think that it's going to be leaking. How can I put it? We're going to get some very interesting homebrew stuff because of this. People will be using this to find ways around the processor and this, that, and the other, and to get around security. Because these people who do break things love this shit, and they're clever people. So I've got a feeling that they'll be using this to go through this. But the source code is the same as it is for some of the AMD cards that they've got coming up, and I imagine it's probably the same as it is for the PS5. So yes, oops,
Be very close to it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's that's going to be interesting. So let's move on because we've got some more delays now. So we've gone from film delays to game delays. So The Last of Us 2 and Iron Man VR are delayed until further notice. So they said that the people making The Last of Us have come towards the end of the game, so maybe they get to avoid crunch, so they don't kill any of their employees through stress as they're trying to finish this game off.
But you can code from home, can't you? Why would you delay a video game? In fact, wouldn't you want to be selling video games right now? Because that's what everybody's doing at the moment.
Marketing and trying to get things out.
Especially as The Last of Us Part 2 is apparently completely finished.
Yeah, they're debugging it at the moment. So yes.
But you can code from anywhere. And you can test from anywhere. You can QA from anywhere. I can understand delays in movies. Delays in video games, I don't get. That just does not make any sense.
There's a lot of remote working.
It's not just a remote working. It's the marketing and the release of it. Because building it's one thing, but selling it's something else. Yeah, and trying to get it out and sorted.
Gamers are going to be sitting at home at the moment, bored off their tits. They're going to want video games. You can flash it up on the console. There's ways to market people living at home. People are always on the internet. Marketing, again, doesn't matter. If you're trying to sell a physical copy, I get it, but digital downloads, you can release it as a digital download now. It's not exactly they're going to lose money. They'll make money, probably more at the moment. In fact, I would say that one of the industries that's doing very well at the moment, other than the streaming services, is the video games market. It's got to be, because brother and his uncle is at home wanting, bored out their brains. What do? You get the console out.
Yeah. I know a lot of people who are waiting at the moment for Final Fantasy VII to be released.
Yeah. It's funny. There was a guy online who's expecting his Resident Evil 3 Collector's Edition to come in. He opened up the box, and it was fucking Final Fantasy VII a week early. So he was thrilled.
I've seen a few people. It's meant to be out in 10 days on the 10th of April, but people are already getting it. They're shipping them early so people can play it during this time.
Yeah,
that's
I know a couple of people who've got it already. I haven't ordered it. I'm waiting. See what actual people think of it before I think about that. So to tide me through, I've decided to download for free, because it's a free thing, the Final Fantasy 14, which is the online one.
Yeah.
To give that a shot, give that a go. So it's worth looking at if you like that sort of thing. It is an MMO, but it's still using the same names and things like that. So yeah, I would have thought video game releases wouldn't have been delayed because of this, but it depends what was left.
It's not as easy, and there's lots of other stuff to
I'm
go
sure
with it
I saw an article where they. Oh yeah, no, you've copied it here. Yeah. Naughty Dog was saying that it's pretty much was finished. So,
yeah.
So it's one of those things.
It is annoying. Anyway, it's time to talk about the cultural touchstone, which everyone, and I mean everyone, apart from Nigel, because Nigel's always behind on these things.
I've seen one.
Everyone has been watching the documentary that makes you go, "Oh my god, how can they top? Oh my god, they topped that! Oh my god, what the? How the? What the? How?" Because it just escalates into absolute fucking madness, and it's the Tiger King. On
the way they
Netflix.
put it together is just genius.
They had 14 editors. Hang on a second. They had 14 editors, 2 from Hollywood, who had just finished doing their own film, who had to help them with it, because it was like, how the hell do we tell this story? Seriously, like, kind of how are we supposed to tell this story of this utter fruitcake? It's just
I mean, I watched that first because I listened to a couple of podcasts and I heard some guy just mention it, and I'd seen it pop up in my Netflix thing. I was like, well, I haven't got anything else to do. I was forced to take a week off. So right, what am I going to do? Let's watch the fucking Tiger King. And I watched the first episode. I'm just going, nah, this has got to be fake. And then I realized it's real. It's like, okay. You've just shown me everything in the first episode. You can't top that. Oh boy, was I wrong. It just gets more and more and more fucking crazy. It's geniusly edited together because it's just every episode it tops it, and you just by the end of it, you're just going, oh, what the fuck have I just seen?
Yeah, because you start off and you see it, and it does start from a perspective. Because I watched it on my own, and then I watched it with the missus, and we watched the whole thing in one go when we sat down and watched it together. And she was like, kind of, I feel it's really sad for the animals, yeah. And we got so distracted with everything else, we kind of forgot about the animals until the last episode, because all of the mad shit going on. It was you had what's his name? You had the guy Rick Kirkham, who was the old guy in the hat. He was the one who was filming the Joey Exotic reality TV show along with his web series, and just
the one who's left him. Yeah, well, not left him, but one who's now elsewhere.
Because it's implied that Joe Rob basically burnt down where all the footage was, and he was understandably a bit pissed off about that. But just to, so you know what, there was a thing today online about what's happened to the animals, because obviously the other guy that was probably should be in jail fell out with his next investor to open that next park. A couple of wildlife trusts stepped in and took all the animals out the park. That happened very recently after this was finished. So most of the animals are safe and secure in better places now. Yeah,
but it just some of the stuff, because you start off and you watch that first episode, and then you go to the second episode where you meet what's his mush Doc. I cannot say his bloody name.
Doc Antle.
Yeah, Doc Antle, Bavaran Antle. And you see him, and he looks like he's got this professional setup, and he looks like he's got his shit together. And then they delve deeper into Doc Antles.
When he introduces himself to the camera, he repeats the word Doc twice, and then he starts spelling everything of his name. His full title, he spells it, just so you know. And you're a twat.
You haven't seen anything yet.
That is nothing. Nice. That is. They put that in there. They put that in there to bait you, thinking, God, he can't get any. This guy can't get any worse than that. And it's like, no, Doc Antle can get worse than that. Doc Antle is, how can I put it? He looks like he's running a tiger cult rather than a zoo.
Yes,
with his harem of women. There was the story of one woman who turned up there, and she pretty much sold all her possessions so she could go and work there. She lived in what can only be described as a bug hutch, and they got her a boob job. And you're like, what the fuck? She's just like, it's like she can't even remember agreeing to it, but she got a fucking
He
boob
controls
job,
what they eat, Nige. He controls what they eat. Seriously, as you go more into this, he's shagging all of them, right? He controls what they eat. If you've noticed, there are not many other men working in his park. They're all rather attractive, big-breasted women. Yeah, no, it is a cult. I mean, the more you, and most of them are brainwashed, and then they start interviewing this girl who escaped, and you begin to go, "Oh my god!" And then Doc Antle's response to this, right? If you see, because obviously there's all this press now around this thing because this thing's huge. Doc Antle's response to this is to attack her, just like a cult leader would do. So it's just like. I mean, Joe Exotic is probably the sanest person in this.
I'm not joking. It's right. We got some comments on there, and I think we probably
Nikki's brought up a few decent points.
Yeah, she has, but no, the what's her face didn't get a hand on these tigers. No.
Well, we'll get.
Oh god.
Oh no. We'll leave her to last.
Yeah, we'll leave her to last.
What was her name?
Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin, after her third husband.
After a third husband, yes, after a third husband, and oh my god! So you've got one of his one. Oh my god! You have right. Joe Exotic has had 5 husbands. All right, you get to see 3 of them in the documentary. 2 of them, one of them died before, and the other one got sent to jail for being a bit of a nonce, shall we say? But he had these husbands, and I'm not joking. One of them was lovingly referred to as meth mouth, and ironically, he got his teeth fixed because he had like a single fucking tooth. There was Travis and.
Yes, I remember seeing him in the first episode.
Travis was the one that shot himself.
It was John Finley, his name was. And he had what they referred to as meth mouth because he'd done so much meth it fucked his teeth up. And apparently he had his teeth fixed, and they filmed some stuff with him. But because the way they wanted to keep the documentary, they left his teeth out.
I remember seeing... Oh, yeah, I found his picture. Yeah. When I saw him and he was talking, I went, that is exactly... what I think a hillbilly would look like.
Yes, he was kind of he was kind of a stereotyped a bit, wasn't he? He looked like something out of Breaking Bad.
That's the thing. He was. Hold on. This is what I was saying to my wife. That Joe Exotic looks like a client for Better Call Saul.
Yes. He does.
That would work in Better Call Saul, and I don't. The next season.
The thing is, Nige, because we're spoiling the shit out of this. He marries Joe Exotic, and then I think episode 5, he's been shagging everybody in the park.
No, it wasn't him. He was shagging the receptionist, and Travis was shagging everyone else.
Oh,
he was shagging the receptionist.
Hang on,
Travis was shagging everyone.
But the one he's married to now is genuinely gay.
Yes, I was actually quite relieved because it seems a bit like a more normal relationship in comparison.
There's a couple of things else. The country songs he sings. He's not singing them. It's some other guy that writes them. And all Joe Exotic does is appear in the videos and mimes the songs. But it's not Joe Exotic actually singing those. But Joe Exotic doesn't care that that's come out because now he's this huge famous star. He doesn't care, although he is suing everybody for like $94 million, which is really interesting.
It was Dylan Passage was the person who wound up with.
There's so much stuff around this show that you spend, like, having watched it all, you can spend hours on the internet reading about all the stuff that wasn't in it, because there's a shit no more stuff, and all the stuff that's gone on since this fucking thing has come out. There's going to be a number 2, blatantly, because there is more to come.
This is the, as I said, this is the cultural touchstone for being locked inside because everyone has watched it. So you've got his husbands and stuff, and then you got Joey himself, and then you've got what's his mush? Jeff Lowe. And it's funny because my wife went to go and Google him on the internet. Yeah, so she found Jeff Lowe on Twitter, and she clicked on it to see if it was the same guy, and it had Jeff Lowe brackets, not the one from the Tiger King. Because some poor bastard called Jeff Lowe was kept getting associated with it. This guy Jeff Lowe is creepy as fuck.
Oh god!
And he was supposed to come in and save the park, but he kind of just took it over and fucked over for Joey for that.
So I read this article that you sent round telling me who's who, and he does look well. He looks a little bit better dressed than
he's
Joe,
creepy.
But
he's
creepy.
I said better dressed. I didn't say anything else.
No. I can take the piss out of just about every other character in this. He is just fucking creepy.
Yes.
I mean, he likes them a bit young. Let's just say that.
Well, he just, yeah.
And he also is a dodgy con artist as well. But
he seems to have invested into the zoo. I don't know. I've only seen the first episode. So he invested in the zoo, then turned on Joe to get him sent behind bars because of an attempted murder of Cal.
He didn't quite turn. He didn't turn on Joe like that. He just kind of, I think the best term is probably usurped him. And then Joe was then dipping into his bank accounts because Joe decided to run for president in 2016. You thought, I'm not joking. You're right there, Nige. What?
Yeah, he did.
I'm not joking.
No, he doesn't stop there. He doesn't stop there.
So you thought Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump were bad choices. You also had Joe fucking Exotic. I'm just like, what the fuck? But apparently he's dipping into Joe's fund for the park.
It wasn't for the presidential thing. It was for the governor run shit.
He did
because
both.
He ran for governor of Ohio.
He did,
and he came third. Didn't he?
No, Keith, he did
third.
both.
Yes, he did. Okay.
Who ran? Was it Joe or was it
Joe?
Joe.
He ran for president. He ran for president. Obviously, lost that.
Yeah,
no shock. Then run for the governorship for Ohio and did far better. He came third. He did come third. So it just shows you what America is, really.
Do you think we were making that shit up? I told you it gets crazier.
I couldn't make it up.
Nige, you have to watch it because we're not covering everything that's in this. We're not even.
And then there's Carol Baskin. Now let me set this up, not Keith. All right, so in the first episode, Carol Baskin looks like she is the sensible kind of philanthropical carer. So she looks like she's the person who's trying to do a good job. Yeah. Turns out she's just as fucking bad as all of them. So she runs a thing called Big Cat Rescue, and Big Cat Rescue is supposed to take these tigers out and sort them out. So she talks about, they need 100 acres of land and that. She puts them in smaller fucking cages than Joe Exotic does. All right, that's the first thing.
I was going to say that they did look smaller, didn't they?
Because the guys took aerial shots. So you got to see Joe Exotic's ones were like big squares, and these ones which were like camper vans. Yeah. So they do that. She doesn't pay her staff because she's a charity. Yeah. So even Joe Exotic, who only pays his staff like $100 a week, still pays his staff, where she doesn't pay any of her staff, and she doesn't care about any of her staff either, which they make very clear, where it's like kind of, so how do you get on with the staff and that? I hardly know them, blah, blah, blah. Where Joe clearly knows his staff and this, that, and the other.
But if you say anything about Joe, he knows his staff. Some of them quite intimately.
Yeah, quite intimately.
I kind of like some of the staff though, because some of those staff were actually all right people. I mean, the Asian lesbian lass that had her arm bitten off, she was quite nice. The guy
she's a he.
Don't care.
And the guy with the long hair who was a criminal but genuinely cared for the animals and was absolutely gutted when he was ripped away from them.
The head gamesman? No.
He came across okay.
Yeah, that's Eric Cowie. He did
come across right. Yeah. He said in the first episode he was saying that he came, he had no job and he just went, do you know what? Stuff it. Something new, bosh, go for it. I admit I actually admire him for that, and he stuck at it despite what's going on at that place.
Yeah. Anyway, can I get back to Carol, because Carol was married at a very young age, and then she got divorced and met up with I can't remember his bloody name. Don Lewis was his name? Is it Don Lewis? But she met up with this guy called Don Lewis, and Don Lewis was into tigers and stuff like that. And how can I put it? He kind of had enough of Carol, and he told his assistant that he had enough, and he told one of his friends he had enough, and he was going to go and pull something off. And one day, because he liked flying, he drove to the airport, left his car keys in his car, didn't get into a plane, and vanished. And everybody thinks that Carol fed him to the tigers. Now, there are two pieces of evidence that they put in this. One is the will, where it says, not on my death or incapacity, it says on my death or disappearance, which Don's lawyer was like, nobody writes disappearance in a fucking will. All right? And then the other one, which was very subtly what they did later, was when Joey got attacked by one of the tigers that was trying to bite his feet because someone had sprayed like deodorant or something on his shoe. So he got attacked by a tiger, and he fucking had to fire his gun off to get it off of him. So he's a lion. Had to get off. And they cut back to Carol, and she turns and goes, who would spray deodorant on someone's shoe? It would just cause the cat to drool over it. If you wanted to get him to get eaten, you'd put sardine oil on it. How do you know, Carol?
There's another piece of evidence
so subtly did that.
Have you? There's another piece of evidence that's come out that's on all the media sites that they didn't include in the documentary. She had a boyfriend in between Don Lewis and her current husband, who also filed a restraining order against her for violence. She killed her husband.
The person we see in the first episode,
the one who looks like she should be
the one wearing the. I don't agree with Gareth. I thought she was nuts from the start, especially when you saw the fucking flowers around her fucking head. It was like, what are you doing? And she had the flowers around. I went, this woman is bad news. I mean,
she kept putting on those flowery things, didn't she? And go all hippie.
And then talking about her imaginary friends that were two white cats, and it cuts to her sitting in that chair with two China white cats. You know, and I was like, she is batshit crazy cat lady.
Yeah, except her cats are fucking big.
And you know, and you're watching this, and I know the documentary is trying to imply it, but they didn't include all the evidence against her. She is blatantly guilty. She's batshit. But it's like, I mean, some of those videos where you see Joe Exotic. I mean, didn't he have like a blow up sex doll that he put Carol Baskin on, and then he blows her away with a fucking gun?
Yes, and it was like strapping dynamite to stuff, and oh my god.
Yeah, there was loads of clips of him bringing AK-47s or automatic rifles and dynamite and everything down near the lake that he's got, and he just looks like an absolute crazy person, just shooting randomly into the lake. Oh, that was Carol. It's like, mate.
Dude,
no,
you have to watch
You've only seen one episode. That is the tip, the very tip of the iceberg. It descends into utter madness.
You see, when I started watching this, I watched it last night, and wife wasn't too intrigued with it at all, and so she was just sitting on her phone playing a game, and about 20 minutes in, she must have kept glancing over and watching it, and then she starts asking me questions about who's done what and what's going on, and I'm sitting there going, I've just watched it, love, and I don't even have a clue what's going on. You have to watch it. And she's going, so who's killed who? I said, I don't know. All I know is Joe Person's in jail 5 years later, but I don't know what for. Maybe he killed Carol, or Carol's still alive and she's killed. I don't know why he's in jail, because I'm struggling to. I need to focus.
This might be the greatest salacious documentary I've ever watched, and I've watched a lot of Louis Theroux, who comes close.
Who did in 2011 did a documentary with Joe Exotic.
I can't remember seeing that. I watched
on the iPlayer, by the way. If you want to see it, watch it on the it's on the iPlayer. And it's equally as it's very Louis Theroux, but it's equally as batshit crazy. So if you want to get an extra helping of Joe Exotic, iPlayer, Louis Theroux, brilliant.
Just something to note. Just something to note, when when Saf, or whatever her name, loses her arm to a tiger after putting it in the cage and gets it ripped off, yeah? Did you notice that Joey Exotic dressed in a fucking EMT bomber jacket when he addressed everyone? So he had time to get changed.
But he calculated all of this. I mean, you see that. He comes across as batshit crazy, but he's got a calculating mind, and it does imply that in certain places, because you hear him saying, "Oh, this is the end of the part. This is the end of the part." That's what's going through his head, not the fact that the poor old guy's like that with a mauled arm. No, it's all the money he's going to lose.
Do they show her lose her arm?
Well, you don't see it, but you see the incident as they kind of film the incident as it happens.
Yeah, because I'm obviously with the first episode. I'm trying to think back to that, and they show her with two hands, two arms.
No. The first, they don't. They were very clever, weren't they?
Yes. They do. No, hang on a second. In the first episode, you do see the fact that she hasn't got an arm, but in the second episode, when they have the arm lost, they don't show her that.
When they're interviewing her after she lost her arm, when they're interviewing her, and because she's in the same clothes and the same, the camera's very close up. Because I went back and watched it, because I only noticed after it happened that she had no arm, and I went, I must have noticed that before, but no, because the camera zoomed right in. So when they're interviewing her, not when you actually see her in the part, but when they're interviewing her, the camera's quite in, so you can't see the fact that she's lost her arm. You see that happen, and then the camera comes out, and you can see that she's got a stub.
Yeah, I think you do see an arm when she's talking and gesturing, but it's obviously her good arm, and that's what I'm thinking about.
It's so cleverly edited, because it's a marvelous job at putting this thing together, because God knows how they did it, because by God.
I will try and watch a few more.
Put together.
Sure. You do have to watch it.
7 episodes long. You have to watch it from start to finish, because there's other characters we haven't even brought up in the informant, the guy, him himself,
fucking Wave Racer 64.
And the jet ski, the way he blatantly made them film him coming in on the jet ski, and then he takes the glasses off. It's like, no, dude, you're a fat, pathetic guy. It's a bit creepy.
That reminds me of the scene they showed with the doc when they're introducing you to the doc, because the doc's picked up these people in one of his little jeepy things. So he's driving them up there. He's talking to them. And he's saying, what I'll do is I'll stop here. I'll go through the back door, round the front, and open. You can knock on the door, and I'll open it up for you. So say hello as an introduction. And he's walked off, and they all looked to each other and went, fucking hell, he might as well direct this. He's better director than us.
He is. He controls everything. He controls everything. It's a cult. It's a cult. It's a. And his park is still very much open, although he was raided. But he had you find out that he's had animals in a load of movies and stuff, which is true.
Yeah.
And you wonder, and this takes us back to that Hollywood is truly a fucking cesspit of evil.
Yeah, I think it is. Anyway, maybe we should just do. Maybe when Nige has seen the whole thing, we'll do a separate one, and we'll go through it in the most detail. We'll see if we can invite some more people on too, because it's one of those things where you just like, it can't. No, how? What the fuck me? President? He ran for president. Tanith, he ran for president. Can you believe this? Just what are you watching? It is. I'm just mind blown. Okay. All right. Let's go for our final. What's going on here? Story.
Oh, so, we just want to.
Oh yeah.
We've got a couple of things here that we can show the comments wise, and it's Nikki again. Yeah, she said there are better places. Better places like the so-called Big Cat Sanctuary. At what point did she mention moving her cats back to the wild? She's as bad as rest. So yeah,
I would almost say she is the worst one of them all, because none of the others really pretend to be anything else than what they are. She does.
Yeah,
and she killed her husband and fed him to the tigers. She blatantly did.
She used sardine oil.
Sardine oil.
Oh,
smothered in a minute.
Apparently, they've reopened that case, asking for more evidence.
There's going to be a follow-up series to this. For later.
Yeah. They must have tons of footage.
And the last one, please tell me you're closing the show with your song, but we can't. You've applied. We get a copyright strike straight off.
He doesn't sing. He doesn't sing any of this. He gets someone to sing it for him. Just a quick one. Me and Alex were talking about the Astartes thing, the Warhammer 40k, Duncan. And it's ironic because I was telling Alex to watch the Astartes thing, and it came out the same day we were chatting about it. And yes, it looks absolutely fabulous. Nigel would probably be more interested than Keith, because you'd liked Warhammer 40k, didn't you, Nigel? Strategy wise, I think it was the squad-based game.
Sort of.
I might be thinking. It
was Dark Ages of Camelot.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to our our final story.
What have you got for us this week?
Right. Woman seeks expert advice on old bottle stopper and is mortified to find out what it is. Jane, 61, posted a photo of an object she found in her garden to a glass collector Facebook group, believing it was a bottle stopper or a chess piece, only to be left a little red face when she was.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Oh no!
Yeah. Apparently, it was measured it was measured to be 1.5 inches in diameter at the fat part. Churchgoer who sought help identifying believed it to be a vintage stopper. She was left saying, "Isn't enough." Have you figured out what it is?
Yes.
I got my friend. I got to finish this off now.
Now I've seen the full picture.
Yeah.
I figured it out. I haven't seen the full picture, but I know what it bloody was.
I tell you, you've jumped straight in with the correct answer. Malcolm has jumped straight in with the correct answer.
Bloody Malcolm.
Somebody knows too much.
Yeah.
So Malcolm's gone, I recognise that anywhere. I don't even need to see the full thing. I was puzzled until you showed that full.
I'm sorry, I've lost it.
It's vintage, mate. Vintage. Good year, that 1965.
Thank you.
We should probably explain to anybody that is watching this that hasn't watched one of these before. We usually before the beer bug, we usually spent most of the podcast shitting on Hollywood and all the TV series that were once great and have been totally fucked up by being woke. So I insisted that we have a funny story to finish off the podcast every week. And so Gareth bravely goes out and finds one of these. This is why this exists. And I think this and the Sonic cake are the best ones we've done by far. Although the one with the corgi, I sent the one with the corgi to my dad the other day because that was just fucking hilarious.
Yes, the corgi one's better. For those listening on the podcast, yeah, it's a glass butt plug. I'm sorry because you've just heard us laughing as I've been revealing this thing. But yes, it's a glass butt plug, and poor Jane, 65, churchgoer. It's not a fucking bottle stopper.
Duncan said he'd clean it first before using it for a wine bottle.
I've got to show that comment. Thanks, Duncan. Thanks for the advice.
I don't think any amount of cleaning is going to help.
I would like to point out that Malcolm did get there first with that comment.
Malcolm, you're not doing yourself any favors here, mate.
Well, if you know, you know.
And on that note, I think it's time we ended the podcast. For those who are still watching and have watched all the way through, thank you very much. I've started to enjoy doing these live features a lot more than we were doing before. So if you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. If you're watching on Facebook, give us a thumbs up. And if you're really good, give us a thumbs up on both. And if we really appreciate that.
If you do watch us on YouTube, for example, I'm pretty sure if you subscribe to the channel, that you will get notified when we go live.
If you hit the bell.
If you hit the bell.
You have to hit the bell. But we'll just have a thumbs up if you could be so kind. I'd like to thank you. Malcolm's just asked me for that link on another channel. You cheeky bastard, Malcolm.
Malcolm, if you want another one, just go and buy it. If you go
Malcolm's asked you, where can I buy that for a friend?
No, he just wanted the story. He just wanted the story.
Oh, just the story. Right.
Just the story, okay.
You go to gamingfacepunch.com, you can probably...
Oh, yes, Keith. Thank you very much. Yeah, you could probably find it on gamingfacepunch.com after your blithering.
I've lost it now.
That doesn't exist anymore.
Doesn't exist anymore.
I have checked.
Doesn't it check? Anyway, please give us a thumbs up. Thank you to the missus for giving us a thumbs up. Thank you, Francesco, for giving us a thumbs up. I cannot pronounce this person's name. Does anyone know who this is? If you wave over the thumbs up. Atika? Is that one of your... I don't have friends on Facebook.
I shared it on mine, so it might be a Thai one. Let me have a look, see.
Atika, thank you very much. Sorry, I just want to say thank you very much. And for those who have downloaded the podcast and are listening to it, because I know we have about 35, 40 of you, thank you very much for listening. Please, if you're listening, but you're not joining us live on a Sunday, please try to join us live on a Sunday. We do Facebook, so come and like our Facebook page, or we do YouTube, come and like the YouTube channel, and you can get this on. And I think we might be at a point where we might start thinking about getting some guests on. So thank you again. Thank you very much for watching.
I just want to say thank you for people who, like you said, there's been a few people who've been watching all the way through. Malcolm, Duncan, even Alex.
Thanks, Nicky.
Nicky's joined us, and I'm not sure if David's still with us, but thanks.
Yes.
And we should mention that we are a podcast as well. You can get us on Spotify and every podcast directory is the good ones and the bad ones.
Or you can ask Alexa to play us. Play the Monkey Nut Punch podcast, Alexa. And anyway.
And she will.
It's always better when you've got people having a chat with us as well as we're going through the stories, so we can read you out. And
we do appreciate all you guys with your comments and bits. So thank you very much. See you in the next one. We'll be on Sunday, 3:30 BST.
Yeah. Just brightening up your incarceration. I'm certainly incarcerated because there's a curfew here now. I cannot go outside. I fear of being told to get the fuck back inside. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching and love you all. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.